Hi everyone, my name is Sophia and welcome to Underqualified. Today I'm going to be talking about doing things that make you happy. This here that you're going to be watching will be a speed paint of me redrawing the first piece that I ever finished digitally. It was around this time last year. You're going to see me futzing around a little bit with like the tools that I'm using, and that's because the program that I'm using in this recording is Metabang, which I stopped using a couple months ago at this point, in favor of trying to learn how to use Photoshop. There isn't really a script for this. I was gonna say this episode. I guess it's an episode. There isn't really gonna be a script for this episode. I do have a couple talking points, but it's not like with other videos of mine that are largely informational. It's unscripted. So without further ado, let's speed things up a little bit. I'm going to start with what's probably the grand thesis of this video. But basically, happiness isn't always easy or simple. Sometimes even the happiest moments can be tainted by something that's really, really not happy. And some days it can just be hard to get yourself to do things that make you happy. But the point is that you should always try in some way to give yourself a little bit of joy. And some days, even the things that you like just aren't going to work out very well, you know. I've been in a really rough and unforgiving and unchangeable, it feels like, art block recently. And this is actually the second time that I'm drawing this image. The first time I was trying to try out something new, but it really didn't work out and I absolutely hated it and I was getting really frustrated with the piece. But I just threw the first version out. It's okay if you fail, it's good to fail fast. Like, let yourself sing really badly, or just, I don't know, let yourself burn a batch or two of cookies. Just, if it brings you joy, do it. Mistakes are honestly kind of awesome, because if you can recognize that it's a mistake, then you're already on your way to being better. Some days, even if you really love doing something, you're just gonna be off. Maybe not even days, maybe even just weeks or even months. You're gonna have a period of time where things are just off, and that's okay. Just don't quit the things that you love, full stop. And also don't let other people try to stop you from doing what you love. As long as it's not hurting anybody, obviously. But don't let people shit on the things that make you happy. It's the question of, like, if they aren't willing to support you in the things that make you happy, then I don't know, do they even respect you as a person? Do they respect the things that you take joy out of? Like, if you aren't absolutely ecstatic to listen to another person rant about something they love for 2+ hours, maybe reevaluate yourself. There have been several occasions where I've traded like 5 to 10 words with a person over like a decent chunk of time, but then one day they just wanted to share like this absolutely humongous and sprawling storyline that they've, I don't know, spent years cultivating. And I literally just sit there and listen to them. I honestly blew an entire day on doing that one time. And I don't even talk to those people anymore, but I'm still really grateful for those moments because I just got to see what another person is passionate about, That's never a waste of time. So if you have a friend that does think it's a waste of time, maybe throw them out. What's my next subject? Oh, working. Okay. Don't let other people stop you from doing things that make you happy, but also don't let yourself stop you from doing things that make you happy. I recently had a hard time with just the work schedule that I'd given myself. And if you're just constantly working and constantly thinking a million steps ahead into the future, but you don't do things that make you happy, then what are you really working towards? Like if you're never actually going to give yourself the big break that you've been working towards, that you've been putting the time into so that you could actually afford, quote unquote, afford to take a break, what are you working towards? Like, how are you going to get yourself through all these shitty weeks of work if you don't just give yourself a break to enjoy things? Don't leave doing things that make you happy at the very bottom of your to-do list, and don't just make excuses. Like, I don't know, it doesn't even have to be something big. You can just, I don't know, read a chapter of a book you like, sit around and do some doodles, listen to music, I don't know, and I don't care, frankly. Just give yourself the time to actually do those things, because this is redundant, but give yourself time to do those things, because how are you going to get through life if you don't? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I had some mango. I was letting myself enjoy mango. And if you're having a rough time, just give yourself space if you need it. And that may involve shutting people out for a bit, and that's really gonna suck. But if they really care about your well-being, then they'll understand that you just need to recharge. Freaking take care of yourself. Whoa, I got really off topic. And there's no segue for this, so I'm just gonna say, as evidenced by quarantine itself, life can drastically change in an instant, and if everything falls through and you haven't left yourself time to find what makes you happy, then what are you gonna do? Like, just, it's hard to do this nowadays. But when things go back to normal, or whatever normal is redefined as, just take time to explore. I think that's something that people take the ability to explore for granted. And I've always thought that for like a really long time. But I think quarantine has really shown people that they should have taken the opportunity to look around and see what they like, while they still could. And that's an interesting thing about quarantine, because I think people are really going to savor all the little things in their life even more so than they ever did before. The reasoning is tragic, but, at least there's some good outcome, I suppose. Okay. I never really claimed to be an expert on anything. I am chronically bad at scheduling for anything that isn't work related. And I've been trying to get better at it for years now, but sometimes it's just really hard. Sometimes I just find it hard to actually understand that I get to be happy, no matter how much I understand it in the abstract, if that makes sense. Like, I think I've made several videos at this point where I've just been harping on and on about, like, exploring and doing things that make you happy and trying to become a better person on a daily basis. But really, that doesn't always work out in reality. I was having an especially bad day recently, so I watched Soul with my mom. If you haven't watched it, it's a really lovely movie. The existence of Walt Disney Studios honestly scares the crap out of me, just because of the sheer amount of content that they own, just on how much real estate they have in the entertainment industry. And capitalism is just this scam, honestly, and Disney is kind of at the heart of that. But anyways, I say that, and I've made 3 videos about Disney, so, where was I? Okay, fine, okay. I watched Soul. The premise of the movie is that you don't need this grand scheme in your life, and you don't need this one thing that gives you a purpose. And frankly, it doesn't make sense to have one thing that gives you a purpose because there's so many different things that you can do in life. And how are you supposed to narrow down to this one thing that you love? You're a person and you're inherently multifaceted. And after a certain amount of time, it's just clearly you're going to find more than one thing that you like, or at least I sincerely hope that you do. But what's always nice is just being able to enjoy being alive. To take examples from the movie, you can just enjoy the sight of those little helicopter things that fall out of trees, or the feeling of warmth of sun on your skin, or the taste of just an incredibly greasy slice of pizza, or just connecting with another human being, whether that's a person that you're having a genuinely nice conversation with, or if you're just getting screamed at on the subway. You can enjoy those things because they're reminders that you're alive. And that can be enough for you. It doesn't have to be, you're obviously allowed to seek out a grand scheme. Ambition is an amazing thing. But if you don't have one of those, then that's okay. You can just enjoy the moment. It's nice to just revel in the little things that remind you that you're alive. Anyway, here are my parting shots. Happiness isn't always easy or simple, but it's completely worth chasing after it in the end. And even if you don't find it for a while, and even if you're chasing after it for what feels like an eternity, and you're getting exhausted and honestly disappointed that you can't find it, and you think that you've just been wasting your own time trying to, it's definitely worth chasing after your own happiness. It's definitely worth trying to find a little bit of a reprieve. Just because there's the chance that you will find it. And it's the most valuable thing that you can ever have in your life. Even if it's hard-earned, and even if it isn't simple. It's always worth it to try and be happy. If you've made it this far into the video, I hope you have a nice day. Or at least I hope that it improves from the state that it is now. I hope you know that you're loved, and I hope that you know that you and your happiness are important. I suppose I should actually go for a typical outro. So if you'd like to talk about life or the general concept of happiness, or if you think that I've missed something important, don't leave a comment down below this time. Just DM me on Instagram. I think that would be more suitable for the conversation topic. But yeah, I'm always willing to learn from other people because after all, I'm underqualified.